Hi, my name is Mitch Ziegler. I'm a physical therapist and I'm a professor at Spring Arbor University. And today what I'm going to do is we're going to cover, we're going to use the foam roller. We're going to use it to mobilize the shoulder. So I find this really beneficial to use the roller just to get the tissues and the knots in the shoulder worked out and get the tissues elongated. It works really well for people who use their shoulders a lot, like pitchers and just people who do mechanics, things like that. So it's just a very good mobilization of the shoulder, soft tissue around the shoulder. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work the outside of the shoulder and through this portion. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay directly on the shoulder, and what you're going to do is you're going to roll back and forth. And I do like to put the hand up here, just a little more external rotation, and it's also a good kind of balance on the roller. So all I'm doing is rolling across the back side of the shoulder, okay? So the muscles that are back there, the teres minor, you're going to also, the infraspinatus muscle, you're just going to kind of work that out. You're going to be a little bit on the shoulder blade, but mostly on the posterior aspect of the shoulder, or the lateral aspect of the shoulder. So you're going to do 10, and then you're going to lay on the other side and do 10, okay? Then what I'd like to do next is I'd like to lay with my arm completely on the roller, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across and I'm going to lean completely, in this case on my left arm. So now I'm stretching my shoulder out, and I'm using stability with this hand so I can roll almost on my shoulder, or on my elbow, stretching my shoulder out. But I'm going to roll so I can still keep my shoulder in contact, and then what I'm going to do is just do little rocks back and forth just to really stretch out that lateral posterior capsule of the shoulder. And then I'm going to rock from side to side like this. So we're going to do 10 wiggles like this, and then we're going to rock over and do 10 wiggles like this, okay? And we're going to do that on both sides. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, so we stretched a lot of the posterior part of the shoulder. We're going to stretch kind of the underneath part of the shoulder now, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the roller right in my armpit, and then I'm going to use my legs and this arm here, and I'm going to roll my armpit out. Okay, so I'm going to roll like this, and I'm really going to get that underneath part of my armpit. And it may be a little tender, so you may not be able to apply a lot of force, but it's important to kind of recognize the tenderness that's under there, keep track of it, and you don't really want any of that tenderness, so just roll back and forth 10 times. And then next thing we're going to do is we're going to keep the arm in the same position, but now we're going to roll kind of like side to side motion. So we're really going to hit those rotator cuff muscles in the back part, along with the joint capsule underneath the shoulder here. So this is just a great mobilization of the inferior part of the capsule, and still the rotator cuff muscles that are in the back. So we're going to do 10 of those like that, okay? So then we're going to switch, and we're going to now move the roller out in front of us, okay? And what you do is you put your head down and you push the roller out as far as you can. So I'm going to drop this hand to show you a little bit better. So you're just going to push the roller out as far as you can and come back. So the hands push out, you really stretch, okay? So you push out and then come back, and push out and then come back. And you do that 10 times. When you're done with the 10th time, then you're going to do a wiggle. So you're going to push out as far as you can, and then you're going to wiggle your body side to side like this. This stretches in the transverse plane of motion, where this was mostly a stretch in the sagittal plane of motion, okay? So after we're done with those, then you're going to bring the roller underneath you, and then now you're just going to rest your elbows on the roller, and you're going to bring your shoulders down and rest everything down, so you're in this extended position of your lumbar spine, your back. But we're putting a lot of pressure through the shoulders to mobilize the posterior capsules of the shoulders. So what you're going to do is just rock side to side, or if you want to do like circles on one side like this and one side like this, that's fine. But probably rocking the side to side is going to really mobilize the posterior part of those of the capsule of the shoulder. You just want to make sure that you're rested and you're not tense up at all. You have to be really rested and just sag into it and rock side to side, and that'll really get that part of it. Okay, when I showed the cervical mobilization, the spine and cervical, we did the upper trap. So I'm just going to review that again. So what you want to do, the trapezius muscle runs right through here. So you want to visualize that muscle when it goes from the base of the occiput all the way down to the tip of the shoulder. You want to put the roller right on it. and then you just want to push your legs up so you're really on it, and then you just want to roll back and forth, just massaging out any knots or any problems in that upper trapezius muscle. Okay. So now we've covered the inferior capsule, we've covered all the posterior. Now we have to hit the front part of the shoulder now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the arm and we're going to take it and place it the long way on the roller. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use the other arm and you're going to push your body up like this to really stretch the front part of the shoulder, but you're still going to have pressure on the bicep tendon or on the front part of the shoulder, and then you're going to rock back and forth. So you're going to rock back and forth 10 times just to really massage the front part of the shoulder out. And after you've done the 10th one, then I just want you to push up higher like a push-up with the other arm and just really stretch the front part like this. So we're going to do just 10 pushes and then of course 10 rocks back and forth, and we do that on both sides. Okay, so that stretches the front part. Then there's kind of a weird stretch that we do for the front part here, but I'm just going to rest my shoulder and my chest, and if you look at my legs are going to kind of go on a little bit of a diagonal because they're going to be what's going to push me now. And I use my other hands here to help push the roller too, and I'm just going to go roll back and forth on my chest area or on the front of the shoulder area. And what I'm trying to do here is to just mobilize the ribs and stretch out the pectoralis muscle and the front part of the shoulder. And you do that 10 times and repeat it on the other side. And the other one that I thought was really helpful, I showed in the spine, was to lay long ways on the roller. And then what you do is snow angels. So you do 10 snow angels. And then if you notice there's a certain spot that's tight in the snow angel, stop right there and then just reach out like you're reaching out further. Reach out and see if you can get that stretch and get it to sink down a little bit. So you do 10 snow angels, pausing if you find a tight spot and stretch that one particular area. So after you've done that, you interlock your fingers, you place them over your head with your palms facing away from you, and then you're just going to do wiggles side to side. And this will also help to stretch the chest out, and it'll stretch the inferior part of the capsule out of the shoulder. And there's one thing left here. We want to get to the latissimus dorsi, and that's the muscle that runs from the shoulder and runs all the way down to the ilium, or down to your waistline here. So what we're going to want to do is lay sideways, mainly lay sideways on the roller, and then what you're going to do is you're going to roll up and down on the roller, just visualizing that muscle, just trying to roll over that muscle and work the kinks out of it. So you're just going to roll back and forth. So that gets the latissimus dorsi. And of course you'll repeat that on the other side. So we've covered every aspect of the shoulder, including the shoulder capsule, and that's a really good roller. That's a really good roller program to really eliminate any of the tender points or tight tissues within the shoulder. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope it helps your shoulder out, and thank you very much for watching.